Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Monimate podcast. I'm Hope, your host. And no, I am not here to judge your coffee habits, or your late night food orders, or that subscription you forgot about 3 months ago. We're safe here. Today, we're talking about something important: financial pressure. Not the dramatic kind, not the I just bought a yacht kind, the quiet kind. The kind that shows up on a random Tuesday and makes you stare at your bank app like it personally betrayed you. You've been there. You open your account. You didn't buy anything outrageous. You didn't book a vacation. You didn't do anything reckless. And yet, things feel tight. So what happened? Well, money stress isn't random. It forms before you feel it. And today we're breaking down the architecture behind it. Yes, architecture. Because financial pressure is structural, not personal. Let's start simple. Imagine you get paid on the 15th and the 30th. Sounds stable. Now imagine this. Rent hits on the 1st, utilities on the 3rd, insurance on the 5th, minimum debt payments on the 7th. 2 subscriptions quietly renew on the 8th. And one of them? You forgot you even had it. Of course you did. It had a free trial. They always have a free trial. Now look at that calendar. Everything compresses before your next paycheck. You didn't overspend. You didn't fail. Your system tightened. That tightening is what creates pressure. Not emotion, not personality. Timing. Inside Monimate, we call this a pressure window. Not a bad day, a window. A period where obligations cluster tightly enough to strain your flexibility. And here's what makes this powerful. Every pressure window has structure. It has a start date, a peak risk date, and a recovery date. Let me say that again. Recovery date. Because pressure without recovery feels terrifying. Pressure with recovery feels temporary. If I tell you, pressure starts on the 12th, peaks on the 14th, stabilizes after income on the 18th, that feels different than, things look kind of tight soon. One creates clarity, the other creates anxiety. And anxiety usually leads to one of two things: panic spending or panic avoidance. Both are expensive. Now let's talk about balance, because balance can lie. Yes, lie. Your account might say $1,400. $1,400 sounds healthy. But if $1,000 leaves before your next paycheck, that balance is living on borrowed time. Balance is static. Pressure is dynamic. Balance tells you what exists. Timing tells you what survives. That's a very different conversation. Now let's introduce another concept. Runway. Runway is not how long until you are broke. It is how many days until structural instability begins. You might not be near zero, but your runway might be 9 days. That matters more than your total balance. Monimate expresses it clearly. You are safe until the 18th. Not dramatic, not emotional, just time. And clarity reduces mental load. Speaking of mental load, have you ever felt completely fine 1 week and then suddenly overwhelmed the next? Nothing huge changed, but your brain feels heavier. That's compression. And compression builds quietly. Now let's talk about flex zone. Flex zone is not extra money. It's shock absorption. Let's say a $200 expense appears tomorrow. Because life loves surprises, does that expense move your pressure window? Does it delay recovery? If yes, flexibility is low. If no, your system absorbs it. Stability is not about how much you have. It's about how much disruption you can survive without extending stress. That's a different way to look at money. And yes, it's less glamorous than budgeting spreadsheets, but it's far more honest. Now here's something important. 5 days of warning is too late. That's reaction time. That's cancel dinner plans and pretend you're busy time. Real stability requires earlier visibility. Monimate works on a rolling 30-day forecast, with extended warning bands beyond that. Pressure is expressed in time, in 10 days, in 2 weeks, before next paycheck, on June 12th. Not soon, not maybe. Dates. When pressure becomes date-based, it becomes manageable. Now let's address something directly. Monimate does not coach. It does not say, you should cut spending. It does not say, maybe cancel that subscription. We're not here to parent you. We're here to show structure. If you want to test something, you can simulate. What if I move this bill by 5 days? What if income is delayed? What if a $300 expense appears? The system recalculates. New pressure window, new runway, new recovery date, same input, same output. Deterministic, no guilt, no lectures, just consequences. You remain in control. And honestly, control feels better than advice. Let's zoom out. The real enemy in personal finance isn't spending. It's surprise. The moment you say, how did this happen? That moment creates panic. Panic narrows thinking. Narrow thinking creates worse decisions. Worse decisions create more pressure. It's a cycle. Visibility interrupts that cycle. When you see pressure forming 12 days ahead of time, your brain relaxes. You don't feel ambushed, you feel informed. That changes everything. Now, does this mean you'll never feel tight? No. Life is unpredictable. But unpredictability doesn't have to equal blindness. Monimate is built to remove surprise, to define structure, to expose compression before it hurts, and to make recovery visible, because recovery matters. Knowing when things normalize is as important as knowing when they tighten. So if your finances have ever felt calm one week and tense the next, it might not be discipline, it might be timing, it might be clustering, it might be compression. And compression can be measured. That's the architecture of financial pressure. I'm Hope, and this is the Monimate Podcast. See pressure early, stay in control. Join us next week for a new episode, and don't forget to subscribe.